Welcome to our first volume of Magnum Performance Video Magazine. This series of programs has been designed to update the dealer's service mechanic on current product information. Our first story will show you how to reset the instrument cluster for the owner each time he completes a regularly scheduled maintenance item. The next story covers the regularly scheduled oil change interval for MFD axles, plus the addition of a limited slip additive to the differential. The third story will update you on a new component used in the PTO valve to keep the PTO engaged properly. And next, you'll get a chance to see a step-by-step procedure for installing the optional hitch switches now available for Magnum tractors. And finally, we'll cover a short operational function of the hitch, which tractor operators should be aware of when setting up their mounted implements. There are many features that are provided on the Magnum instrument cluster. One feature that often gets overlooked is the service reminder. This feature will tell the owner when he has reached the next regularly scheduled service interval. An alarm will sound for about 6 seconds, and the service bar lights up to tell the operator it's time to service his tractor. It's easy to set the service reminder. All you do is turn the key switch to the accessory position. Then, while holding down the RPM and reset buttons at the same time for 4 seconds, you'll go to the service hour interval programming mode. If there's an hour setting already programmed in, it will flash in the display window. You'll notice that the service indicator is showing in the lower display window. After a short time, the display will stop flashing and a beep will be heard. This indicates that the programming mode is ready for your input. You use the up and down arrow pad buttons to change the hour display to the next regularly scheduled service interval. After you have entered the new hour reading, it's registered into the instrument cluster computer after about 2 seconds. To lock in the reading, simply turn the key switch off. If you want to check the service reminder hour setting, just turn the key switch back to the accessory position. Hold down both the RPM and reset buttons for 4 seconds, and up comes the display reading in the top window. This feature will help remind the owner when it's time to change filters, change oil, or any other regularly scheduled service. Each time the instrument cluster is updated during a normal service interval, you're helping the owner keep his Magnum at peak performance. The mechanical front-wheel drive, or MFD axle, is one of the hardest working components on the Magnum tractor. One of the features of the MFD axle is the limited slip differential. That means additional torque is supplied to the non-slipping wheel whenever the opposite wheel starts to spin. To keep the MFD working properly, the fuel level should be checked and changed at regular intervals. Plus, a limited slip additive, part number B91246, should be added to the differential. There are 2 fluid reservoirs in the MFD axle. One is the differential housing, and the other is the planetary. The differential and the planetary lubricant should be drained after the first 10 to 50 hours of service, then every 1,000 hours or each year, whichever comes first. The drain plug on the planetary is placed at the 6 o'clock position to remove the oil. You may notice small metal particles attached to the end of the drain plug since it's magnetic. Clean these particles from the plug prior to reinstalling it. After the planetary has been drained, the hole is rotated to the 3 o'clock position for filling. Fill the planetary with case 135 HEP gear lubricant. This oil carries an SAE rating of 85W-140. Each planetary holds approximately 1 quart of lubricant. Fill the planetary until the level is even with the bottom of the fill hole. The differential can be drained by removing the drain plug at the bottom of the differential housing. After it has been drained, you can replace the lubricant with the same Case 135 HEP SAE 85W-140 oil used for the planetaries. Before filling the housing to the proper level, add 1 pint of limited slip additive, part number B91246. The total capacity of the differential is 12 quarts. You should fill the differential until the level of the oil comes to the bottom of the hole. Remember to tell the owner of the Magnum that he should check the differential and planetary oil levels every 250 hours and to schedule the lubricant change every year or 1,000 hours to keep the MFD axles working properly. If your customers have complained about their PTO not staying engaged on their 71 or 7200 series tractor, here's a quick remedy for the problem. Occasional reports of units produced between approximate tractor serial number JJA0046000 and JA0053000 indicate the PTO will not stay engaged. We found this condition is due to the improper assembly of the PTO valve. The old washer, part number G108810, may not be properly installed between the engagement springs. This washer allowed the PTO lever detent spring and the poppet valve spring to creep together. That resulted in a loss of PTO lever detent pressure. To correct this condition, a new sleeve, part number 140211A1, is being used in place of the washer. This sleeve will prevent the springs from creeping together. When the PTO does not stay engaged, install the new spacer to correct the problem. The new spacer has been included in the PTO valve since transmission serial number AJB0068288 or approximate tractor serial number JJA0053000. Further information, including a cutaway illustration of the PTO valve, can be found in Service Bulletin NTR SB 02194. One of the available features incorporated in the 7200 series tractors are the external Hitch switches. These switches are valuable during the hookup or unhooking of an implement, and they're also very handy when adjusting an implement in the field. The external hitch switches also serve as a mud guard to prevent mud or debris from being thrown between the fuel tank and the fender support. A kit containing these external hitch switches has been offered since March of 1994 for those owners wishing this feature. The kit part number is 124006A1 and is sold as a whole goods item through the price book. This program will show you how to install the new kit. It's being offered for all late model 7100 series tractors after serial number JJA0035217. The kit is also available for all 7200 series tractors. Also, you must make sure the tractor is equipped with a hitch control module carrying part number 1983407C2. The kit contains all the hardware needed to complete the installation. There is a template included with Service Bulletin NTR SB 02094 to make the job of locating the necessary mounting holes easier. We'll illustrate the installation procedure on one side of the tractor The same procedure is used for the opposite side. To get started, locate a point on the fuel tank support bracket that is 1 7/16 inches in from the side and 2 11/16 inches down the length of the bracket. Use a center punch to mark the spot. Drill a 3/8 inch hole in the fuel tank support at the point you've located. Since the rear assist bar behind the fuel tank will not be needed, remove it. Install the template provided in Service Bulletin NTR SB 02094 on the stud at the upper rear of the cab. Rotate the template until the cutout matches the side sheet. You can now transfer the location of the square hole onto the side sheet. Scribe a diagonal from each opposing corner of the square to mark the center point. Be sure to protect the fuel tank before drilling into the side sheet. Drill a 5/16 inch hole in the center of the square you marked. Use a file to square out the hole so that the carriage bolt will fit securely. After the hole has been squared out, install a 5/16 by 3/4 inch carriage bolt with the bolt head against the fuel tank. Now install a flat push nut on the carriage bolt. Next, you can install a support bracket on the support by using the 5/16 by 3/4 inch carriage bolt and a 3/8 by 7/8 flat washer and flange lock nut. Tighten the nut hand tight. Prepare the switch assembly by installing the switch in the cover with the top switch arrow pointing up and the bottom switch arrow pointing down. After the switch has been installed, tighten the nut. It's a good idea to mark the top switch connector for installation later. Then install the conduit over the switch wires. Next, you can install the speed nuts over each cover tab at the hole. The conduit can now be installed through the slot in the support. There must be a 1 1/2 inch minimum of conduit exposed above the slot. Then run the conduit along the inside edge of the support angle. The switch cover is mounted to the support by using the number 10 by 5/8 inch screws. Now install the support bracket and cover assembly, aligning the tabs under the side sheet. Use the 1 1/4 inch flat washer and flange lock nut to secure the bracket, but don't tighten the nut just yet. Now that both sides of the tractor have the remote hitch switch brackets and covers in place, install the rear assist bar using the 5/16 by 3/4 inch flange lock bolts, but don't tighten. Install the support angle to the fuel tank support using the 5/16 by 3/4 inch flange lock bolts and flange lock nuts. Tighten the nut holding the support bracket to the side sheet. The remaining hardware can now be tightened so the assembly is tightly secured to the tractor. The switch wire harness is run alongside the electronic hitch harness. Install the switch harness 3-pin connector to the open connector of the electronic hitch control harness. It's located on the top left side of the transmission. Connect the switch wires to the harness connectors. The raise switch you marked earlier is attached to the connector with the yellow marking. That's all there is to it. The external hitch switches have been installed and can be used by the owner to control the raise and lower functions of the hitch. Further information regarding the remote switches can be found in Service Bulletin NTR SB 02094. Here's a quick operational note which is more for the operator than the service mechanic. When a mounted implement is attached to the hitch, the operator should determine if the float locking pins should be in place or removed. The mechanical lower link float is used when operating in variable field surface conditions. One or both lower links can move up or down approximately 1 1/2 inches, allowing the tractor to pivot freely from the implement. Generally, mechanical float is used when the mounted implement width is more than the wheelbase of the tractor. However, the pins are kept in place when using an implement like a plow to reduce the movement of the hitch lower links. Check the operator's manual for the implement you're using to see if the mechanical float should be used. By allowing the lower link to move up and down during use of a wide mounted implement, you'll reduce the strain on the hitch, as well as allow the implement to follow the contour of the ground.